I am Brandy Whitmire. I am a banker, broker, direct lender with the Brandy Whitmire mortgage team here in Dallas. And we are doing your educational series. Again, that we're doing these every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. And this week, I'm going to talk about down payment requirements for each product and what down payment forms you can use, the types of down payments you can use, and how to get those funds, and how to creatively get that information. Awesome. Hey guys. Hey Sherry. Hi. Glad to see you. So, okay, so down payment. I wanted to talk about this week because we had several people get online and do an application with us, and was worried that they would not qualify due to not having funds. I'm going to use the example of a $100,000 house for this series. So a $100,000 house, let's say you're going to buy, I've had people, I don't have, how much money do I need? What are the closing costs? What can I afford, or where am I going to get these funds, or how much, how am I going to save for this? So I want to talk about, like, for a first-time home buyer, let's say, typically you're going to go with an FHA loan. The minimum down payment required for FHA is 3.5%, so it would be $3,500. On a conventional loan, you can go as low as 3%. It's a little bit higher of a rate. It just depends on, sometimes it's a good deal for you, sometimes it's not because of the higher rate and MI and things like that, but you can go as low as 3% on conventional. Typically you're going to do 5%. If you are in a geographical location that is in a rural area, there's what's called a USDA loan. There are income requirements attached to that, credit score requirements and things like that. However, it is a zero down. So USDA zero down. And then we've got, of course, VA. Our veterans, they get you are at, it's also a zero down mortgage. So there are different ways, though, for someone to get the down payment, because there's also going to be closing costs involved. Closing costs can be paid for by the seller. It could be paid for by the lender. It can be paid for by you. It just depends. So everything is all of these options really need to be looked at, and what do you qualify for? Are you a veteran that is in a USDA territory? It might not be that a VA loan is best for you. Maybe not, because USDA doesn't have mortgage insurance, and you might not have any service-related disability. So don't just think that because one product, don't get stuck on a product is basically what I'm saying, because you could have access to other products that might be better for you. So where the typical down payment would come from could be from obviously your checking, savings, 401k, retirement funds, 1031 exchange. It could be a gift. It could be a gift from a family member, and this is depending on product, of course. It's not going to work for every single product, but types of gifts would be from a family member, from a friend that we can document that's close to you, from a spouse, from a domestic partner. It could be a wedding gift, as long as it has been deposited into your account within the last within 60 days of your marriage certificate. Hey, Laura. It could be, again, the closing, and then the closing costs on top of that. Closing costs are going to range anywhere from 1% to 3%, typically, actually 0 to 3%. On our VA and FHA loans, it's very easy for our lender to be able to pay for your closing costs, because there is more premium on that rate. So you can choose and opt to get a higher rate for the time being in order to pay for closing costs. So literally on a VA loan, you could come to the table with $0. In fact, on a VA loan or a USDA loan, you could actually close with money coming back to you. So if you put down $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 in earnest money, whatever that case may be, you could actually get that check back at closing. That is a possibility. Of course, this depends on the loan amount, it depends on credit score, it depends on the rate, it depends on so many things. But my point is that there's options on closing costs. Now, let's talk about, okay, I'm not buying in a USDA territory. I am not a veteran. I am a first-time home buyer. I'm a teacher. So we have a program called Homes for Heroes. So that's going to be your teachers, anyone in the educational system, police officers, nurses, paramedics, these types of people. There are down payment assistance programs that can help you get 3 to 5% of your down payment, and we'll help you in getting that grant. We'll help you with getting in front of the entity in your area that you'll fill out the application. We'll make sure you're qualified for it and get you and see if there's any down payment assistance for you. This doesn't just have to be that's called Homes for Heroes. So that's one program. But another program is that there's regular bond programs out there that could be for it. Most of these have income limits. So let's say you make less than $65,000 a year, and you are having a hard time saving for that down payment. Like again, you're not in USDA, you're not this or that, the other, you're not a veteran, and you need that down payment assistance. There are several. I mean, I have 3 that are my favorite in Dallas. That one of them goes up to about $80,000. Again, there are requirements. So it has to be, maybe they want a 620 credit score, maybe they want a 640, maybe they want to see, maybe it's a household limit. Who knows? So if you are not buying a home because you are concerned about a down payment and how to get it, really reach out to us, because we might be able to find a loophole or a way to get you into the home with the least amount of down as possible, so that you can start wasting money on rent and start building equity in a new home. And then every 6 months, we're going to look at that and look at your loan and make sure you're still in the right loan, because maybe you had to opt for a higher rate right now in order to get your closing costs paid. Maybe you just need to get your foot in the door, literally, in your new front door. Maybe you needed to do that. Maybe there's something that we need to do just to get you started, just to get you in the game. And there are going to be options, and we like to put you on that plan. And also, on top of that, if you need to get into a home, and let's say your score's at 580. I did a credit series a couple weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago or so now. We can put you on a plan. Okay, save this amount. Do you have a 401k? Did you know that you're not penalized in your 401k if you are buying a primary residence? Right? Did you know that 100% of your down payment can be gift funds? The only caveat to that is on a conventional loan, you have to have a minimum of 5% if you're buying a 2 to 4 unit property, 2%, 5% borrower contribution, so your actual funds, if you're buying a 2 to 4 unit property or it's a second home. Never allowed on investment home. But again, I don't want to get too much into the semantics, because there are so many guidelines, so many products, so many ways that we can twist and turn this thing. There's also gift of equity. So you want to buy a home from your sister, and she just wants to give it to you. You want to buy a home from your parents. Your parents doesn't have an investment property that now they want to give you. They want to give you a gift of equity, which means you're buying that $100,000 house, or it's worth $100,000. You want to buy it for $80,000. Your parents can gift you the down payment of equity, gift of equity. So there are ways. That's why we need to know your story. We need to know your plan. We need to know who you are, what you're doing, where you're saving, who your friends are. If if your church is charitable organizations, credit unions can, your employer can gift you funds. There are ways that if you start thinking about it and you start seeing what your options are, that maybe you're like, wait a minute, actually, I can get an employer. I can borrow money from my employer. I can do this. I can get. I found a house that the seller will pay my closing costs. There's just so many ways and so many loopholes and roads and avenues to get you where you want to go. And if we can't do it now, at least you've got the plan. But so many people just think it's not an option for them. They think that they need $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to get into a home. Like how am I worthy enough to do that whenever I don't have this in the account, or I put all my money in 401k, or I have child support, or I have that, whatever the case may be. A lot of people just don't think that they're capable of being able to buy because of funds. And that's sad. And I don't like it. So make sure to call me. Give me a call me, my team, 214-660-5000. Reach out to us on the internet, BrandyWhitmire.com, DM me, comment on this, do whatever you need to do, because you just never know. And again, this doesn't have to be about down payment, it could be about credit, products, anything under the sun. You know where to find me. I really, really hope I am going to help someone get into a home that they didn't think they could have before from this video, honestly, because it's an investment. It's the American dream. And if it's what you want, you should know how, and you should talk to a professional that can help you. So thank you so much for viewing and joining me tonight. Again, reach out to me anytime you want, and I will see you guys next week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Talk to you then.